whole bra burning thing. First of all, do you know how much our bras cost now? See, they were $4 back in the day, so y'all could burn that shit. We can't burn this shit now. Do you know my bra costs like $60?
See,
It's
specialized.
like, come on.
That's for
So it's
special
like,
people. It's a special bra.
look,
It comes with
look, we
TV.
can't all use Crystal's code for them nice bras, okay?
All right,
And
so
we're off. And we're
we're gonna,
off.
right, we're gonna be burning metaphorically in terms of that. So anyway, before we even get into all we do, we got to welcome the people that's looking at us live. We got to welcome the people that listen to us faithfully every week on the podcast to episode 70 of We Come From Bad News. This week, of course, as I said, we have, hold on, I am Al Billups. That is my partner, and Yaze Vincent. We each other's co-hosts. We have Stephanie Sunshine Williams from the Mocha Minutes podcast to hang out. And this week, we're going to be talking about a variety of wonderful things as we do. We're going to talk a little bit about one of the biggest issues that's going on right now. Troll Tide, a nation divided over life. How this whole thing in terms of this ruling in Alabama is just impacting everything. We know that Stephanie's going to give us a whole lot of a spill on that one. So that's just going to be an interesting perspective to talk about. We're going to talk about the whole Blackish universe is expanding. I saw the Mixish intro or trailer earlier this week. I thought it was real interesting. And just in general, we hadn't really talked about Blackish that much. It's growing. It's doing its Cosby Show thing. It's the mothership. It's spawning other little ships. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what they're doing. And then we're going to round it up with Steve Harvey. And you know, the man is just losing jobs left and right. What happened with Steve? Where did Steve go wrong? Steve used to be that. What happened with Steve, man? So we're going to talk about that. But of course, we're going to jump into the trending topics first. So we got another great show on deck. Y'all ready to get it popping?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Cool. Let's start it off, man, because it's late. You know how we do it. You know, Stephanie looking at us like, yeah, keep it moving, Al. Keep it moving. So let's go. All right. So the trending topics, we call our trending topics the bottom line. The bottom line is basically representing the people that reside at the bottom of Hampton Roads. Their opinions are always going to be real and authentic, and we shall be in the same vein as we handle our trending topics. Chris Rock is going to be taking over the Saw franchise. So we basically having an older comedian that's been watching Jordan Peele and decided, I want to jump out of all of that. The man that played and directed Pootie Tang wants to take over the Saw franchise. Ladies first, how do you feel about this whole thing, man?
You know, I would have felt a little bit better if this was Jordan Peele saying this. Then I'd be like, oh, I know this shit gonna be good.
Right?
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. I'm saying that up until I see, you know, a trailer. But for right now, I'm like, no, just no, baby. You better stay back in your neighborhood with your white dentist and enjoy your life, because I feel like this is the wrong way for you to go. Revive and Live in Color. Talk to the Wayans and see if you can get that going. But Saw is like, I need a horror mind. I know black horror is different. The horrors of being black is a different thing you can show, but the Saw franchise, no. Leave that to the whites.
I don't think it's a good idea either. Yaze, your thoughts on Chris Rock jumping into the horror genre? You think he can go ahead and do his best Jordan Peele, or you think he's gonna bring something different? What you think, man?
First of all, Chris Rock is a genius, and I think that he has been there for us at pivotal times in our Black nation's history.
I agree.
He separated, like Moses separated the Red Sea. He separated the niggers from the black people. Okay, true. He made it clear. He made it plain. I can't speak any wrong of Chris Rock. All I can say is that at some point, everyone has to recognize their limitations.
Agreed.
And and everything isn't for everybody. You know, the Lord made 12 places for the 12 tribes to drink. and you know what I'm saying? And I feel like Chris is just like all up in some other tribe's well right now, and that's Jordan Peele's just him alone actually right now. I don't know anybody else that's even fucking with him. So yeah,
Correct.
that's my feelings right now on that. That's
Yeah, I'm on the same page. It just doesn't. I don't know. It just. I mean,
and I
I'm not gonna
love him.
underestimate him, and I do too. It's like, you know what? We may be having this conversation a year or two from now,
I
going,
love him.
"Damn, he actually put out something decent."
I
So
want to be
I'm
wrong.
exactly. I want to be wrong.
Exactly.
So I'm taking a wait and see approach, but I'm going into it very negatively. So that's the bottom line on that. So that's the bottom line on that particular one in terms of that. Um, Walmart, Walmart will start charging more as a result of the tariffs that are going on from Wonderful 45. Ma'am, how do you feel about having to pay more at Walmart? It's yeah. How's your feeling? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So literally every time this little trickle down effect happens with anything that 45 does or undoes from the
Right.
Obama era, I look at everybody who voted for him. More important, I look at people who voted for him more than people who didn't vote at all, because voting levels has always been at least hovering around 50, 51, 52% of the actual voting population. So it's never a surprise that everybody and their mama don't vote.
Mm,
Right.
mm.
So every time you see this shit, you go, yeah, tell me lesser of two evils,
Wow.
but her emails.
Yes. Yes.
It don't affect me. He's going to do great for the economy. Please tell me. And by all means, as my fourth grade teacher would say, show your work. Bob,
Right.
it's like, it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous. But when Walmart's like, yeah, we're gonna have to raise our prices, I'm like, so all that stuff that end in 88, 98 might go up to like 99 and may go up like 10 whole cents. I was like, oh, that's not bad on everything in the goddamn store.
Listen, listen.
Yep.
Walmart been dropping its prices since 1888. Okay.
They ain't gonna be rolling back shit now. They be like, no, roll forward.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Walmart is actually a lot more expensive when you do some comparisons on different things, depending on the
never
product.
in your life heard of Walmart raising no prices on nothing. That's the
Oh, yeah.
whole point of Walmart. And now
Right.
Walmart is being like, hey, you might need to go to the dollar store. You know what I'm saying? Like, this may not be for you. You know what I'm saying?
Stop sleeping on Dollar General, because they ain't no. They say they was no prices. Dollar Tree, like, well, we have to raise. No, we not. We gonna keep it right here,
we
because
gonna
all
get
them
that left over.
from Walmart, like, oh no, if you want to buy all of your videos, raising up your prices, come over to Death Row. That's what's gonna happen with all these dollar stores. They're gonna be luring everybody. Like, ooh, it's wait, that's 218 at Walmart. Pity. It's
Yeah.
$1 at our place.
I'm telling you, well, at least somebody gets a chance to eat off of the craziness. But
Oh my
it's just, as
gosh.
you said, it's that trickle down effect that's just coming from everything that's just been going on.
Scary.
And I hope it changes in terms of who we have competing. But I have a feeling that we've got another 4 more years of this shamakery that we see. So hopefully, as we said with the Chris Rock, I'd like to be wrong. Like, I really, really would like to be wrong.
Yeah, man.
So on that, on
Absolutely.
that, let's go ahead and move forward with our main topics. Troll Tide. A
Troll
nation,
Tide.
a nation definitely, or a house definitely divided as it relates to the rights of women when it comes to their choice to make an abortion. This week, I don't even think, a couple days ago, has it even been like 48 hours, maybe, or
It's
so?
just a rolling tide of shit. It's one
Basically.
first one Alabama did it, then goddamn Missouri did it. I don't know.
Georgia actually did it before Alabama with the heartbeat
Well, there you
bill.
go.
I
It's just been
saw that.
Yeah, it's just been like one after the other now.
So it's to a point where now Alabama is the latest one, and that was signed into law by a female governor. So that also brings into question, it's not so much just the
white female governor. Let's be very clear.
The bill was also written by a woman.
Yeah. Whoa.
Crazy.
Wow.
So all right, so let's just dive right on in terms of this, ma'am. Please give us your thoughts in terms of why you feel as though these stricter laws around abortion is happening right now. Why do you think that this is the time? Just they decided, hey, this is a great time to give this a shot. Why do you think this is happening? And just overall, your thoughts on the bigger agenda, all that stuff, ma'am. Your wisdom.
So I think this is happening because they know it is troll time. Because 45 is our president. He has now made the Supreme Court very, very red. And these are happening in very red states. And it's like watching a bunch of dominoes fall. Because there are still states coming down the pike. Because some of these don't start until July 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
However,
they got 6 months, right?
Right. And then some are starting in 2020, but that's not the point. I think Kentucky, like, theirs is blocked, but it made it as so far that it had to be blocked. And so I hate having to keep going back to 2016 because there's so many people who said, y'all put this man in office, they're coming for Roe versus Wade. Every time he got a new Supreme Court person, every time he got a new judge, they're coming for Roe v. Wade. Right. So you see this at like the state level of all these laws being passed. They're like, oh, well, it's the state. I'm like, yeah, enough states do this, you can get to the Supreme Court, which is literally what you don't want to do. Yep. Because they don't give a shit.
Not right now.
They're like, oh,
not this Supreme Court. No. Not this Supreme Court. No.
It's the wrong Supreme Court. I'm Ruth Bader Ginsburg can do a whole bunch, but she is in a minority. They don't even have like a swing vote in there right now.
And Ruth Bader Ginsburg is holding on to the Holy Ghost right now.
She is on the prayer. She is in everybody's prayer list. She is on the altar. They're like, please don't let this woman die.
There is a circle of 7 black women in a church in Kansas doing roots 24 hours a day right now, holding her spirit in her body. You know what I mean? Like, we're that close to. And the thing is, what irritates me is that, one, I give a shit, and black people have never really given a shit at this level, and they got us with Obama. They infected us with the bug of giving a shit about this political system before. Up until this time, all black people thought American history said, them white people don't give a fuck about us. I don't give a fuck about them. Moving on, we need Skrilla. And now we're really paying attention to politics, and now we see how fucked up it is. That bothers me. That part, yes. What you're talking about, how they set up the judicial system to make all these dominoes fall. What bothers me is that the whole G.I. Joe effect of it. How at some point the Republicans just said, fuck it, we don't even have to pretend to be good guys. We can just...
No, absolutely not.
No,
why?
They don't care.
You know, we could just do blatant evil, be on the blatant wrong side of history, and nobody is going to stop us because these white people are so scared that they're willing to vote any type of racist white power structure that that seems familiar.
Exactly. And then the thing about it is they're like sliding these in by not calling it an abortion ban. They're saying a heartbeat bill. And this is when you know that men are fucking stupid when it comes to women's reproductive health. That you're actually saying, oh, you have 6 weeks to have an abortion. I'm like, so fun fact, a woman may not know until she's like 8 to 10 weeks.
Word.
Especially there are women who don't have regular menstrual cycles, so their cycle might come 1 week and then might come 5 or 6 weeks later. You're like, oh, it's back. Oh, okay, whatever.
Everybody's different, right?
No. I'm a man and I am an expert.
I know these things.
Okay, women's cycles come every 28 days. I saw a pamphlet. It was very explicit.
It comes the first of the month, like everything else. Where are you getting this from?
Yes, it's very I know you know what kills me is that, especially as a black dude, I'm torn because I'm not a hotep anymore, but I definitely have a lot of sympathy for my hotep brethren, you know what I mean? And a lot of times when they see
I'm sorry.
Well, no, you're right to chuckle. You are because
fuck them niggas.
Yeah, fuck them niggas. Because it's become a parody of itself. Because it's like, it was one thing when we didn't know any better, but then when Angela Davis came out, it was like, hey, y'all motherfuckers we've known this since the 70s. So actually, there's no excuse. There's nobody around breathing that shouldn't know any better. But the point is that I feel some sympathy for them, but it's galling to see these black men coming out talking about how why are we so outraged about them so-called taking away abortion from us? All you got to do is go get some herbs and some medicines from the swamp, and then you'll be fine. Your grandmama knew how to take care of it. So why are you worried about this white man? Da 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 da. You know, so don't worry about it. And when I listen to that, I'm like,
You still feel sympathy for them dumbass niggas?
It's
They stupid as hell. It's like,
hard.
first of all,
It's
shut
hard.
the hell up.
It's just it doesn't make any sense.
I don't
Shut
even.
the hell up.
No, it doesn't make any sense. No, okay, you're right. First of all, you're right. It doesn't make. It's like men talking about abortion is like melanated people trying to tell white people not to use sunscreen. It's none of my business. It's do whatever you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's your relationship with the sun. I have melanin, so I'm always protected. It's never going to be an issue for me.
But you should still wear sunscreen, sir. Black people sunburn too.
That's because white people have ruined the ozone layer. Okay, that's
okay.
Because you
no,
know what I'm saying?
Sir, we are not going down Hotep area. Okay, we're not going to Hotepville. Niggas, put on your fucking sunscreen. Okay, God damn it, I don't want to hear this.
My son that's behind me, guys, just got sunburned when we went to the beach. I was trying to jump in. I was gonna say, yeah.
You're like, yo, my mama got a sunburn. She was like, Stephanie,
listen,
I got a sunburn. What the fuck is going on here?
That's different. That's different.
Berthol is back.
It's like, it's amazing to listen to men go, I mean, I'm not against abortion, but I mean, it's a child. I'm like, shut the hell up.
Exactly. No, we don't have any say on what that woman should be doing. I just think that that's just wrong. But here's the thing, though, and you know, when the question I want to ask, is there a larger agenda in place? Because this is a fight that happened, obviously, back, you know, when Roe versus Wade went through, and here we are having that same fight again. And then we get everything situated, and now we're having it again. So the question is there's just a group of people in this world that's just going to continue to undo this?
It's not. Al, it's not just. It's very explicitly a group of 16 states, which whose legislature who have GOP legislative majorities that have banded together to pass these restrictive laws so that they can force it to the Supreme Court because they think that this is their best chance and maybe their last chance
to knock it down.
Knock it down forever. Yeah, no, it's explicit. It's not like some underground conspiracy. It's an above ground like.
It's literally within plain sight. You're
they're just doing it.
If it's enough of us that can force it to the Supreme Court, it's going to get there. And we're like, oh, we're going to totally win because, hello, we have the majority of the Supreme Court.
Exactly. That's
it's
exactly what's happening.
And then to hear, like, some of these bills are like, we don't care if you're sexually assaulted. We don't care if it's like.
Crazy to me.
It was just like, we don't care. And I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, that's so archaic, and this is not the Handmaid's Tale. On the second, it's like, why do I have to suffer for you to actually let me choose what happens with my body?
I mean,
it's like, I shouldn't need to like be like suffering, like, oh, sexual assault is wrong. Of course you can do it. It's like, or maybe I just want to.
Right.
Maybe that fuck ass nigga I fucked is a horrible person, and I don't want to have his kid.
And I don't want to spread his genes. Thank you. Maybe I'm doing the human race
the world a favor,
service.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Maybe he had good dick and dumb brains, and I made a legislative decision.
Or that could be lousy dick, and you're like, fuck this.
We don't want you to be like your father. We want you to be a better man.
Like, don't be giving out these whack ass strokes.
Well,
it's like flat ass pancake strokes. What the hell is wrong with you? Like, oh no. It's like,
all right. So
child together.
Speaking of weak stroke.
Well, no, hold on. Before we go to, but also there is a conspiracy though. The conspiracy that you're sensing, Al, which is legit, is that the white supremacists want more white babies to be born because by 2050 it's projected that America will be majority minority. So
I heard about that.
They want to get rid of abortion for a very mundane, fucking like super villain kind of reason. So
we got to keep our race pure.
So yeah,
that's why they attacked Planned Parenthood during like for the last couple of years. They've been really attacking Planned Parenthood because a lot of the services, which less than 10%, hell, even less than 5% of the services are actually for abortion, which is a medical procedure, but Planned Parenthood does like less than 5% of that. But they were like, Planned Parenthood does abortion. I'm like, yeah, they do a lot more. So this is like, oh yeah, if we get rid of like abortion to make it illegal, like throw doctors in jail for 99 years. Y'all don't even do that for people who run people over. But
right.
Okay, sis.
Thank you.
Go off.
Thank you.
But
Thank
then
you.
it's like they
First
can
of
use
all.
it to like backdoor getting rid of Planned Parenthood, which legitimately helps more black and brown people.
No, I mean, look,
But
I can't amen the shit hard enough. It doesn't for me. I feel like the positive, like we're always talking about, if there's a the positive virtue here. Like, yeah, everyone talking about what they're against. I'm against abortion. You know, they're against abortion, but they're pro death penalty. They're they're anti welfare. They're anti funding for early childhood
very pro gun.
and
I was
very
gonna
pro
say they want
gun.
all the guns
All
on
the
the
fucking
streets.
guns. Teachers with guns. All this, you know, like all this craziness that's anti-life, but yet they're pro-life. You know, so they're not pro-life. Let's be very specific. They're pro-birth. They're pro-birth. They're pro-birth. They're not pro-life. They just like be
Right.
born, and then the rest
Totally
is up to
agree.
you. The rest is up to you. What I'm saying is that a woman should give life freely. That's the one thing a woman has power over in this world is what is giving fucking life. That's her. That's all
Right.
on her. So like men, we get the muscles, we get the attitude, we get we get a lot of shit. We don't get no periods. We get a lot of advantages, a lot of bonuses for being men. I'm saying women, obviously, whatever the fuck, if you believe in God or nature, whatever, the apparatus for having kids was given to women. So I'm just saying, if I just got nothing to do with that. I don't have nothing to do with it. So I'm like,
It is.
whatever
I'm
you
sorry.
ladies say we need to do, that's what I'm saying we need to do. That's all I know. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I agree.
I'm done.
Yeah, because it's amazing to watch a lot of these men going, yeah, that's right, take it away. But let me say, so, okay, you can take that away. Give me your gun. They lose their fucking minds. They be like, wait. It is my constitutional right to own a firearm. It is my constitutional right to do what the fuck I want to do with my body.
I agree. Hell, we can leave that right there. I was going to ask one more on this one, then we can kind of move on to some other stuff here.
Woo.
Now, do you feel that after 45 is gone at some point in time, that this is still going to be something we're going to continue to fight?
Just like stuff with Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah,
Still
man.
fighting that shit.
Look,
and that's the 80s.
We're still living under Reaganomics. We are living under Reaganomics to this very day. So I mean, yes, it's always a fight. Always. That's
the part that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
America. So I had this revelation the other day. Actually, the reason America feels real fucked up is because it's basically a free range slave labor camp. And if you start to think of it that way, you'll like all of the shit becomes much clearer, and you stop expecting anything good to happen. That's all. It's just like if you think about it, the way, I mean, like, seriously, I'm not even trying to be facetious about that. Like, the way it's set up is that you got to find somebody who says you could be my employee, which is a very nice word for my slave, my boy or my girl, my gal, whatever. And then I will make sure that you have health care. I give you enough money that you can buy yourself not clothes.
Where is this voice coming from?
I live.
All right, not messing with you, because however, I'm not.
Oh my God.
Don't run away from me. Don't run away from me.
Get you all set up.
Don't run away from me.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. But
Is
nah,
this a Jamestown accent? What's going on here?
That's
we
Massa.
from the Virginia area. Yeah, that's the person running
Massa
the
wasn't
shit.
smart. He just was greedy. That's all. We always give him too much credit, talking all slick. I'm what you thought I did. That's not
Yeah. And they had the law and a whole country on their side, so it's what it is. So on that note, as we skip up out of that one, because we're just going down a fun rabbit hole with Yaze on that one, which I love those moments.
I get excited.
Oh, man.
I love those moments.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some Blackish. We hadn't talked about Blackish. We had not talked about that in a minute. So we're talking about the Blackish television universe, and they have now added Mixedish. Earlier this week, I think a day or two back, Mixedish came out, which is going to be pretty much, from what we're seeing, the story of Bo and her family. So I think it's Bo, her sister, was it Montana or something like that? And then she's got the other brother there as well. They come from not only just a mixed background, but they come from a very interesting background in terms of cult leaders, raids, and stuff like that. And it looks like it's really going to kind of tell her story. So let's just kind of talk a little bit about Blackish in general. How do we feel just in general about the show in terms of where it's going to? Yazzie and I have talked about Blackish on the previous episodes, but it's been a minute since we kind of talked about the fact that, Zoe's now gone. Junior's kind of coming to his own. They were on the brink of divorce. I think last time we had a real conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now all is good in terms of that, but it seems like the families definitely and the children seem to be really in transition, and they seem to be kind of covering all different areas of Blackish in terms of that and creating their own universe. Ma'am, let's start with you. What do you think about the family and the direction overall before we dive into the newest show, Mixed-ish?
Okay. So, I am a Blackish fan.
Yes.
Okay.
However,
same.
That colorism episode,
okay,
the first time I watched it, it pissed me off. And I gotta say this like this, because I was like, is it just me? Am I being wrong about this? And then I listened to Tea with Queen and Jay, and I was glad that Queen saw exactly what I saw. Like, this is some bullshit.
Break it down.
This is some bullshit. And not because when it comes to colorism, it is so nuanced. It's so broad because it is two sides of the sword. It's a double-edged sword. Yep. Because in our community, we do treat light-skinned folks and or biracial folks like they're not black enough to be here. But then on the other side, when darker skin tone people go out in the world, white people treat us worse.
Yes.
And then be like, you need to be just like that light-skinned person. That's the standard of beauty. Yes. That's the acceptable black.
Right.
So that's the part of the episode I really wish they would have touched on. Because not saying that Bo's story and Junior to a certain extent, because he is on the lighter side of the children, that their story. I mean, I don't know, because Diane is the darkest one of the kids, and then I guess it's like the other two kids, and then Junior is the lighter one. So I mean, they have points for both sides of the coin when it comes to colorism, but there was stuff that just missed. And then I watched this trailer for Mixed-ish, and I was like, oh fuck. It was like, oh, the timeline's gonna be fighting worse than if it was Insecure on Sunday night, because this is gonna be a lot. And I don't want to invalidate any biracial person's experience in the black community, because I know it's a lot. It's like we're all old enough to remember in school when you see a light-skinned person, like, oh, she thinks she cute because she light-skinned. Oh, I'm like, oh, you only want the pretty boy because he light-skinned. You only like him because he light. I remember that.
Yes. We definitely all went through that.
Yes.
Right. So kind of like, I know this, but we all older, and everybody gonna act like that didn't happen in their school. So everybody gonna be acting real brand new. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not prepared. And I also don't like that they recast the mama, even though I think
I did not like the choice.
No. Okay, no, I think
I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with that.
That changes something.
It was just Aunt Viv shit we got going on.
That changes something, because the mother being light-skinned, Bo's light-skinned mother having a light-skinned child, her mother being there was a certain dynamic that made sense. And now replacing that woman with a dark-skinned,
I'm like, she should be a little bit darker if we keep it.
It did not make any sense. I was just like, why did you change that? That's not what her mother is. It just didn't make any sense.
Even though Tracy Ellis Ross is not all that quote-unquote dark, but still, though, you're like, okay, so this is not going to make sense to me.
Like I'm just saying, like, the experiences of that woman would have been different. We're just talking about a different story, a different rainbow. Like, it's not even the same rainbow we're talking about now. If her mom was a dark-skinned black woman who is married to this, like, goofy white dude, and y'all was in a cult. I mean, okay, the cult thing, sure, that still follows. But also, okay, so let me back up. My issue starts with just the term mixed. I feel like this is always some white-centered shit. It's always white-centered to begin with, to say that somebody is mixed, because riddle me any motherfucker called black or white who ain't mixed with something.
Right.
What you know what I'm saying? Like, what black person ain't got somebody, like, I mean, are you 100% Igbo or 100% Yoruba or wherever the fuck we come from, Africa? Everybody is racially mixed. So the only thing that's meant by the term mixed is that you got some white in you.
Right. I guess biracial.
You got
I guess
some non-black in
right.
you. You got some non-black in you, and that's what makes you mix. Because if you just, I don't know. I mean, you Kamora Lee, you got some Asian or you got some white in you. But like, if you got some other African in you, we think Nipsey Hussle is black. We just say he black. That nigga from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, it doesn't matter to us. Like, it doesn't matter when black people are mixed from all different countries or all different nations or all different culture. That's all just black. But if you get a drop of white blood in you, all of a sudden you're mixed. And I think there's a conversation to be had about biculturality, about coming from coming from the hood and having a very traditional black upbringing versus being raised around white people, being literally transracial and to some extent because your experience is different. But I don't think this show is going. I think that if this show sticks, man, I will be shocked. I would be shocked if this show sticks. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm retrograde. Maybe I'm something. But I feel like
retrograde.
Yeah, maybe I'm retrograde because I don't want to deny anybody experiences. Like if somebody wants to identify as being mixed or something like that, or say like I'm a mixed person, like be you. Say whatever, call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. All I know is that being black has always meant everybody. Everybody who ain't white.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I have a friend who, like, she has a podcast. It's called Militantly Mixed. So she does identify. So, shout out to Charmaine. She does, say, it's from a mixed black perspective. She is not denying her blackness, but she does, recognize that she is mixed with other cultures. It's white, it's Asian, it's British. Shout out. She do this British accent one more time, I'm going to get her. But it's adorably cute when she does it. Okay. But I don't see a problem with someone saying, hey, I'm mixed. And it's like, okay, well, represent all your cultures. Like, hey, that's cool. But it's so interesting that we're doing mixed dish. And I'm like, who asked for this?
That's all I'm saying. What contingent?
Like, who asked for this?
Yeah,
but I think
they were initially just going to weave it into, the show, because for the most part, it usually covers a lot of Dre's experiences coming up. In fact, probably 80% of it is his perspective, how he kind of became who he is. And so I guess they called themselves balancing it out and saying, okay, we're going to kind of start to integrate some of Bo's story in there. And then somebody said, well, hold on a second. Let's go ahead and Cosby show this thing and let's make ourselves a whole new show. And then that's why we have an entire spinoff.
Or do like Girlfriends did. Another show she was on, and that's how they got the game, because that was an episode of Girlfriends. It was a different I think Tia wasn't on. I think it was like literally two other people, and then when they finally got to show the game, they brought Tia on. And homeboy, I swear it's too late that I can't remember these niggas' names, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. It was like an episode of Girlfriends, because I think the football player was supposed to be like
into something else.
She was related to Joan in some weird way, and then they got their own show because everybody liked the episode. They're like, "Oh, I want to see more about this."
Oh, okay.
I was like,
yeah,
that's how they got the game. Got it.
Yeah,
and I mean, in terms of with this one though, I like the fact that they're going to be concentrating on Bo's journey, because I do think she gets overlooked a lot. I mean, she tells the little pieces and bits of his story, but we know way more about Dre and his thing in terms of that than her. So I do like that. Now, do I think the show is going to be sustainable? I don't know. I'm kind of with y'all a little bit on that one. I think the term mixed-ish has kind of rubbed some people the wrong way, especially in this date and time. But I think it could be relevant from the perspective they're coming it from, because they're not just talking about the mixing of the cultures. They're talking about having or being biracial from the time period she was in to the present. And there's a story there.
Yeah, okay. No,
yeah.
I give you that. Like, I think if they can make it interesting and relevant about the 80s, her growing up.
And I think there's a story there.
There might be something. But I guess my thing is that Black-ish already sounds like it's not already ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not even blackity black. It's Black-ish. And now you got a show called Mixed.
Name is rubbing people. The mixed-ish kind of has to rubbing the people.
What the fuck is a mixed-ish? Isn't anything? You know what I'm saying?
Zoe,
or man, I was looking at it like mixed shit, but I right. To your point, I think it'll be interesting, and I think when it comes to sustainability, I think the reason why Grownish is doing moderately or well.
I love
It's
Garner.
because it's on Freeform. It's like, even though it's kind of, that was ABC Family, now they call it Freeform. It's still part of the family, but it's on a whole nother network and reaching a whole nother demographic.
Good point. Good point. Good
Yeah,
point.
and Zoe's
Good
story
point.
has been really interesting. Actually, I've been following it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of started slow for me, but I've actually gotten into a groove now.
It's better
And
than
if you haven't
Blackish
checked
to
it
me.
out, yeah, it's really interesting. I learned a lot just about kind of millennials and how they think in different situations that are just vastly different than our experiences that we had. So I find it interesting. All right, so I think the way we can kind of round out of this one is that we hope that the shows is can do something and bring a different angle to it. But if they're just going to kind of rely on the whole mixed dish kind of thing that they've been already doing on the original Blackish show, it could fall flat. So let's just hope let's hope for the best. We'll see what happens on that one.
Yep.
More black people on TV. I am not mad. Why am I
Pretty
mad?
much.
I'm totally not mad at that either. All right, let's round it up. What the hell is Steve Harvey doing, man? Where does Steve go wrong, man? Like in the last week, this man has basically been replaced in 2 shows. And I'm hearing that his Family Feud, that he may not get renewed back on that.
No.
Yeah, I know. I love him on Family Feud, man.
He's
I'm
good
like,
at that.
he's
Wait,
very
he's
good
not
at
on
that.
Family Feud?
No, his contract expires in 2020, but there are rumors, and they came out within the last 24 hours, that he may not be renewed. And the rumor, word on the street, word on the about a campfire, whatever, is that it's around money, that Steve is getting paid some dollars, and they want to see if they might look at a cheaper option.
Wow.
I just think they try to fade away from him, based upon some impending rumors about different things that's about to come out. And just in general, I just think maybe it ain't the coolest thing to be in business with Steve. But your thoughts, Stephanie, like what's going on with Steve? Why is Steve world crumbling right now, man? Why they doing your boy Steve like that? It's the money game. This is about the money game right here. What happened to Steve?
As in the words of a Negro scholar, when you do clownery, sometimes the clown bites back. So
there for a second.
I was surprised when I heard they were replacing him here, and then the canceling of his talk show I knew was happening because they had already talked about Kelly Clarkson's show. They were going to use his time slot, so I knew that was coming down the pike. The Little Big Shot thing, I was like, but he's so good on that show. He's really cute with the kids. It was kind of like, up there. Right, he's really good. So I'm like, that's interesting. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is there a scandal out there that we don't know about? And they're like, you know what? Fuck this. We getting out of here before this thing breaks. So I'm sitting here like, what did Steve Harvey do? I'm like, why he using 2 shows? I'm like, I don't know. That's what happens when y'all keep listening to him, not getting no sleep. Y'all niggas staying up late at night because Steve Harvey said don't get no sleep. Excuse me, all the people that sleep are broke. It's like, I'm like, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them are fucking asleep right now.
Oh my
God. Y'all doing it. Go to bed.
The greatest trick the master ever played on us was acting like he ever fucking gave a damn. He ain't never do shit. He ain't do nothing. The master just would walk through the fields and be like, you gotta work all day if you want to be the master. Like, what?
No, you gotta buy black people. What you saying?
What are you talking about? Exactly. The CEO was on the golf course 4 hours a day working on his putt shot, talking about you got to get up early if you want to catch the berm. Like,
exactly. It's a game.
Of the United States goes golfing every fucking weekend, and he runs this country, quote unquote. Fuck out of my face.
Yeah, man. No, it's
about
revealed.
Quality of life in terms of that, and that's what's it. And I've never been. I mean, again, that's cool to say. And I mean, in some instances, yeah, you may lose sleep, or you may not, be, take care of yourself as much in different spurts or whatever. But you don't want to make that a lifestyle. You do what you need to do in those moments or whatever, and then you recover. You get yourself some rest, and then you get back to it. But to sit back and just run yourself ragged and into the ground, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, none. But that's exactly what they want you to do, to be too tired to give a damn to go fucking vote. In Australia, you get fined. You know what I'm saying? In Australia, you get fined in Australia if you don't go vote. Fine. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine in America if they gave you a fine for not voting? You imagine how many motherfuckers would be voting? for some crazy shit too, I bet. But they would be out there voting. I'm just saying.
Really, you want me to vote? Fine. I'm gonna vote for Big Bird.
Right?
You like see that's how much that kind of shit. You be like, okay, so take the fines away because obviously y'all niggas don't know how serious this is.
Listen,
some people don't need voting rights. I'll say that. I'm like, yeah, some of y'all don't need to be.
We got Big Bird in the goddamn White House right now. That's you know what I'm saying. I mean,
indeed.
You know what I mean? They did exactly what you just said. They said, "Oh, we gotta go vote." Well, I'm gonna go vote for the dumbest motherfucker I see. That's what I'm gonna do, and they did it. What were we talking about? I'm sorry. What were we talking about? That wasn't even the subject.
We talking that it's all good. It's all good. No, we on Steve. We just trying to figure out. I mean, who has Steve pissed off
Harvey
to where? Because I mean, we're talking about. Let's be honest with you. Steve Harvey is a damn good host of the shows that he is a part of. And I honest with you, his TV show, I thought it was all right. I caught some episodes. I mean, I didn't tune into every one, but the ones that used to like come across my Facebook or if I just happened to bump into it or something, I thought Steve had a pretty good show. He was helping a lot of people. I thought the show was all right.
He ain't giving out relationship advice because that nigga needs
outside of that. My God.
Fine, sir. Nope. I need you to shut the fuck up. Because you about to be like on marriage number 75. So you're the last person to tell anybody. Let me tell y'all about relationships. No, baby, you can tell me about divorce court and
That's right. Tell me about a prenup. Tell me how that worked. Tell me what you see. I need to know that. I need to know that. No,
tell him how to get the money. Please leave marriage alone.
The problem with Steve is that exactly what the sister said is that first he's a hypocrite. Is that he can't? Is like I mean, on one hand, okay. On one hand, I do kind of want to know the perspective of the person that has blown their hands off on a bomb. You know what I'm saying? Because that person might have valuable insight. But on the other hand, I'm like, you're not going to teach me how to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can just teach me what not to do. That being said, I think the problem with Steve is that he doesn't offend you or me, Al, because we're black men. And we come from we're older black men, and that middle-aged black men who come from the era of toxic masculinity. So a lot of the shit that we grew, that he say don't even affect us. But we're in a different era now, and Steve is a walking Me Too bomb. Like, there's nothing that could come out about Steve Harvey that you wouldn't immediately be like, yeah, I see that. I see that immediately. I see exactly where something probably happened.
Oh that's a soul for sale right there. He's just sitting around, just can't wait to give it away.
Yeah, and
unfortunately, he's like, look, I gotta make money. It's like integrity be damned, sleep be damned. Where is the bag?
He's on record. He's on record. So I just don't think that he has a lot of integrity in people's eyes. I think that his philosophy is 20 years old. He changed his suits up. He got them tailored, but he didn't change up his interior. Styling. You know what I'm saying? So, it's out with the old and in with the new. Hey, did you see Gerard Carmichael's special on HBO? Home movies?
No. No, I haven't. I heard it was good.
It was real good, and also he talked about hooking up with guys. So, and he talked about it casually. Yes, he did.
Hey, go ahead. Make your sexuality fluid, sir.
Listen, Sis,
it's like, go ahead.
Sis,
go ahead and be fluid.
He said, and he was talking to his mama in North Carolina, and he said, you should go out and get some, mama. And he said, I've hooked up with guys, ain't no, whatever. And I was like, okay, this is a different era we living in now.
Go ahead.
Totally different world we have right here.
Different world.
And on that note, we will go ahead on and turn the corner and get ready to say our goodbyes and all that stuff like that to episode 70.
Yes, we have given it to you. We have given you some twists.
We have given you some good content. Stephanie, as usual, we love you being on the show. We love hanging out with you. Your perspective is always entertaining and always brings us great light. Ma'am, can you tell them where to find you, your podcast, all that kind of stuff like that? And I think you've got an upcoming trip to somewhere kind of cool coming up, don't you?
I do. So you can find me floating around the Spicy Bird at either the show page, Mocha Minutes, and that handle is good for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Or you can find me on my personal Twitter, being like episode 69, being a little bit nasty because, well, I follow certain people that I can't open up in church because it's like, oh shit, I can't open that. So my personal handle is Sunny Twote That. That is SUNNYTWOTETHAT. So you can follow me there. You can find the show Mocha Minutes. You can find it on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Tune in, Castbox, iHeartRadio. Find me there or any podcatcher you use. Apparently, if you have a podcast, you're on Luminary. Like if you search your name on there, you'll find yourself.
It's true.
So that's very interesting.
True.
I was like, I'm on Luminary too.
At least they're not cutting out affiliate links from your show notes anymore. So they are playing ball now. They're playing ball. Okay. Yeah, they're playing ball now. You can't take our content and be stripping out all the means of production and shit. Luminary.
Yeah. Yeah. What Yaze said, well, we appreciate you coming on, hanging out with us, helping us class up the joint, giving us your perspective. Sure. You'll always appreciate it. Yaze, tell the people where they can find you and what you do.
Hey, well, every once in a while, me and my wife get our shit together and we do a podcast called Woke with Kids. It's average.
Yeah, get it together, sir. I don't see it popping up in my little
it comes out every 11 days or so. Hey, it's not me. I would do it every day. Mel is a very special, beautiful snowflake.
Come for her.
She is a beautiful snowflake.
Mel is on her grind. She got things going on. She's doing auditions. She's raising babies
and going on auditions and stuff. And she's got her cousin here with her. Anyways, but Woke with Kids, that's our thing. We'll probably be doing a podcast this weekend because we got plenty to talk about. And check us out. We're on all the things. Yay!
So check out Woke with Kids, Mocha Minutes, and of course, we come from bad news. You can find us on all the places where you can find SoundCloud. Yeah, found podcasts from our SoundCloud to iHeart to Apple, iTunes. Sure. All the places where you can find podcasts, you will find us there. Check us out, listen, subscribe, all of that. Check us out on our Instagram as well as our Twitter. In terms of myself, you can find me on my Instagram, Algernon's October. On Twitter, AlDiddy1712. Another episode done. Woo! Episode 70, where we had good things, good energy, and all of that.
Spotify is back. It's back.
And Spotify is back. Give us some reviews. Check us out. Share what's going on.
5 stars.
To Woke with Kids, and make sure you subscribe to Mocha Minutes and give them reviews and subscribe to them because we're all just one big village. Peace.
Peace.